What's up, guys? We're going to talk Alan Wake 2. Now, I never played the OG Alan Wake, but going into this, I saw that the developer said you didn't have to play the first one in order to experience Alan Wake 2. So I was like, all right, that's more incentive to actually try this one out. I've been hyped up about Alan Wake for quite some time. You always hear people talking about it. Well, in Alan Wake 2, there's two characters. There's Saga, who's an FBI agent, and then there's also Alan Wake. And you kind of, I guess, intertwine between two of their stories. They each have their own chapters, and it all comes together to be one big mystery involving a cult, and there's all sorts of weird paranormal stuff in here. Yeah, paranormal is the name of the game. Now, to my understanding, this one is a little bit more of a survival horror than the OG was. There's a little bit of gunfighting mechanics and some, I guess, exploration elements. Not much in way of puzzle elements outside of like basic, I guess, puppet things and things of that nature, right? I'm getting ahead of myself though. Let's talk about how gorgeous I think this game looks. I remember I was live streaming it not too long ago and I was like, man, this just reminds me of Twin Peaks so much. It's like these mountainous, piney areas where it's like little, I guess, lakeside towns or oceanside towns that have these docks, and it just has this strange aura about it. But also when you're deep in the woods, it's just really mysterious. There's like a lot of fog and a lot of darkness around. It just gives me the creeps. This game just has that feeling that is almost dreadful. Now, don't get me wrong. There's not much in way of enemies like a Resident Evil or anything. You're not going to see like big demons and stuff, but you'll see crazy cultists and wolves and different types of enemies, shadow creatures like shadow people and stuff that you have to use like light off of your flashlight to get stun them, and then you shoot them with your weapons. It's pretty, I guess, run of the mill. If you play like some kind of survival horror game, you'll be in here like a fish out of water. There's not much new out of Alan Wake 2 that haven't seen anywhere else. So as you progress with both characters, you get clues that help you solve, I guess, the mystery. Say Saga is trying to solve, these murders that involve rituals and things like that, and Alan Wake is trying to piece together exactly the stories and rewrite them and how he got out of this whole, I guess, dark presence area, and I don't know, the terminology is escaping me at this point, but either way, it's really good. You get like these clue boards and you piece the clues together, and it's real mysterious. It's almost like you're reading a novel, which, funny enough, Alan Wake is a writer of scary stories in this game, and there's a whole bunch of, like, I guess, meta involved with certain cutscenes and things like that. Again, I didn't play the original game, so I don't know how much ties into this. I know there is small references in some of the manuscripts that you find and things like that, but I really did enjoy the atmosphere and I enjoyed how creepy it felt. Now, the controls, you basically just walk around, tap A when you see the A button come up to look at items, to pick up items and stuff, and the weapons and the combat, if you played another survival horror game, it's pretty much the same. You aim your gun with the left trigger, you shoot with the right, and you have limited amount of ammo. You find different types of items and stuff to heal. Pretty standard stuff, right? I guess the major appeal of Alan Wake is its story. And I gotta tell you guys, I was on my hands and knees just waiting. Is that the term? Hands and knees? I don't think it is. I was on the edge of my seat, just waiting to see what happens next in regards to this whole mysterious thing involving this cult that's in the forest and all these weird little things that are happening that are causing Alan Wake to essentially feel like he's losing his mind, and Saga to be seeing weird stuff. There's a lot of trippiness in this game, and it's a shame that this game didn't get nominated for more awards than it already is, because I see a lot of potential in the art direction and stuff in here. Now, there is a little bit of issues with glitches and stuff. I had a few game crashes where if I was in the middle of battle and I tried to dodge, the whole entire game crashed. I didn't get that footage captured, but I've had freezing in battle. I've had game crashes. I've had where the game kind of like buffers and slows down a little bit when I'm dodging and attacking enemies. I guess, major, minor stuff, nothing too big, I guess. Like, game breaking stuff. A game crash, you can just reset the game and start where you're at. Now, the game is hard. It is challenging. Every once in a while, you'll find these like save houses where you can save. You do a quick save and a manual save. Lots of times, I would find myself, I guess, progressing, or what I felt like was progressing a decent length of time. I would die and I would have to end up backtracking because the last point that I saved was quite some time ago. You know, it's one of those games where you're like, shoot, I have to save. So I would go all the way back and save so I wouldn't lose my progress, because it reminded me of other games. Like the first time I played Resident Evil and I needed ink ribbons, I would be freaking panicking to try to save because you die, you have to do everything again. Nothing felt really tedious, although I would say it felt like you would die rather quickly. Like 3 hits and you're dead in this game, which I guess that's reasonable enough because you're fighting these overpowered paranormal enemies and stuff, but I felt like it was really hard to come by as far as ammo went. Like, eventually I was running really short on ammo and all I would have was crossbows, and it freaking terrified me. And I guess that's what games like this are all about, is the experience and terrifying. So definitely, after my experience with Alan Wake 2, I am going to go back. I am going to play the original. I do have Alan Wake remastered on the Xbox and the PlayStation, so you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to go and play that, even though I know it is a different type of experience. I thought this game was solid enough. Unfortunately, there is no physical edition of Alan Wake 2 at this moment. It's digital only, so I used some of my Microsoft Rewards points to pay for the, I guess, the download. I would say, I don't know if they're ever going to put this out. I don't know why they didn't do it. Maybe they felt there wasn't enough of a demand. Maybe this just keeps costs down this day and era with the economy. Who knows? I really hope it's not like limited run or some kind of like limited produce company that prints these games out eventually. I would like to see these printed en masse, but you never know when it comes to these games with Alan Wake. So yeah, I enjoyed it for what it is. I think it was a lot of fun. Again, it was my first experience. I don't know in way of comparing to the original if this one's better or worse, but I liked what I saw here. So I think it's worth checking out. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I'll see you on the next one.